Why do you hate your job and what can you do about it? I'm Emilie West, I'm a career coach and I've helped hundreds of people to find jobs that they really enjoy and succeed and thrive in. So I thought I'd share the common reasons that we don't like our work and what we should do about it. One of the reasons is we just might be doing work that we're just not interested in. And that's okay if you just want to do it for the paycheck, but we spend so much of our lives at work, I do think we should do work that we have a genuine interest in. You might be doing work that is interesting to you, but you're not valued properly for it. You're not recognised and rewarded. So that might be another reason that you're unhappy. You might enjoy the work and the environment, but it's not playing to your strength. So you're okay at it, but you're not brilliant at it. And I found with my clients that they really thrive and succeed and feel great about themselves when they're doing work that really plays to their strength. And the final reason is you might love what you do, might play to your strengths, but you might not like who you work with. I particularly notice this with people where they don't like their boss and they work for someone really difficult. So the first step in knowing what to do if you don't like your work is just taking time to reflect on why that is. It's really important you get clear if it's not playing to your strengths, if it's not something you enjoy, if you're not valued, or if it's the people. It might be several of those things. But what you mustn't do is just rush to quit in a hurry without really reflecting on that. Because my first question to clients is actually, once you've identified the problem, can you fix it where you are? For my clients working in big firms, if they like the firm that they're in and they like the work they're doing, but they don't like their boss, can they just move internally to another team and work for a better person? I've had so many clients do this and actually be really successful in their careers, and that move's actually really helped them further their careers. So before you rush out the door, do think, can I achieve this change internally? If your work isn't playing to your strengths, is there a different role you could try in your organisation that does play to your strengths? If you're not clear what your strengths are, how can you find out? Can you go on to comment to another area and just test it out? So that's the first step. Once you're absolutely sure you cannot find a job that plays to your strengths, that you enjoy doing with people that you like and you're recognised properly for in your current employer, it is time to move on. Now, it's wonderful if you can afford to just quit and find another job later, but actually for a lot of us that isn't possible. And it's actually coming from a position of strength if you're looking for a new job while you're still employed. So rather than rushing out the door, get very clear on your strengths, think about your values, think about what you're good at or your experience, and start thinking about your next job and what it could be, and make sure that you're not going to get in another situation that's very similar. So for example, if it's the people you really struggled with, get very clear on what you do and don't like about the people you work with, and make sure when you interview for another job, you're really looking at the culture of the firm that you're going to. Because what I don't want you to do is go from one job you hate to another job that's better because it's new, and then 6 months later you're still unhappy. So you need that reflection time. But whilst you're looking for a new job, it's also good to use where you are now to build the skills that you might need in the next one. A really good example of this is I was coaching someone who really didn't like their boss, and they felt that their boss was picking on them and being really harsh to them. And they decided to leave, and it was completely valid because the job really wasn't the best fit for them anyway. But I said to them, before you go, why don't you see this as a challenge in influencing and building relationships? And let's see if by the time you leave, you can't win your boss over. And so they did. They tried lots of techniques and they really thought about their boss's motivations and goals and how they could support them. And by the time they left, their boss actually made a lovely speech at their leaving do about how great they were. So they did a complete 180. So before you leave, think about, what are the skills I can build? What's the experience I can get? Who can I network with? The contacts I can develop before I leave? And make sure you really get the most out of where you are before you move on. Now, as I said, if you're in a job that you're really unhappy with and you're not valued, it's not good to stay there. So you do need to move on and find another job. But don't rush into taking the first thing just because you're not feeling good where you are. Take the time to reflect on what you want, what you don't want. That's really important. Use your network to ask questions, find out what roles are out there, find out what cultures are out there, and really take the time to find a really great job for you. Hope that's given you some things to think about why you might not be happy in work and some steps to take. Obviously, if you have questions, you can leave them in the comments or you can connect with me on LinkedIn.